All right. So for today, what I'm going to try and do is give you a basic introduction to VisionScape, our deck design tools, and provide an overview. There will be some other webinars and training events coming up, and we're very excited about our participation with NADRA. There's a lot of very exciting things happening around that as well. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hold all questions. Everybody's muted for the time. I'll give a demonstration, then I'll open the room for some questions, and we'll take it from there. So the first thing that I've done, now that I've logged in, essentially what I have online on VisionScape are a series of designs that now reside in the cloud. Now any design, I can not only find the design, I can view the design and all of its assets. Now what's really unique and interesting about this is not only can I build a portfolio of my designs using plans, screenshots, even HD video, I can use VisionScape as a method for providing very rich and dramatic presentations to my clients by simply sharing a link to their particular design. Now me as a designer, which I'm actually not, I'm not a deck designer, but if I could share a design with a client and then in an hour I can turn it off, providing I want to get paid for my work. So let's start with, let's open a design here. Here's one that I did today, and it's just a simple deck with a NADRA logo. And here it is. Now, it looks like something like this might have been very complicated, took a long time to lay out and design, and the truth of the matter is this was done in under 5 minutes. And the reason it was done so quickly is although this is a 3D design technology, there is no 3D modeling. So what I'm going to start with our demonstration today is starting a new design. And I'm going to introduce what we call smart tools. So you'll notice what I have when I start a design is I have a blank grid area. Now this particular grid I can tell is 170 feet by 110 feet. And so what I'm going to do here is turn on my snap to grid, and I'm going to start drawing a simple house to demonstrate smart tools. So by clicking my house tool, it allows me to draw the shape or foundation of the house. And once the shape is complete, it builds a house for me. Now granted, it's not a very pretty house, but it is a house. Now you'll notice when I have the object selected, I have this yellow line. This is our bounding box. Allows me to scale, allows me to rotate. But it also tells me that the object is selected, and to the right, on our properties panel, I can go in and modify this object, in this case a house. So what I'm going to do is increase the wall height. I can increase the roof pitch. I can change the materials which make up this house by going into the catalog. So here we're going to go for the wall material. And here I have a library of siding options. Now you'll notice there's not a whole lot, but if I click look for more materials online, it's going to search the VisionScape database, and it's going to pull down all the objects that are available. Now you'll notice some of them have these little gray arrows. And what that means is that I've never used this material before, so therefore it does not reside on my system. In other words, I have never downloaded it. But once I do, and we'll grab this one, Cedar Shake, it pulled the material from VisionScape, applied it to my object, and now it resides on my computer. So we'll come back, and now we'll notice that there's no arrow there. We'll do it again. So there's our house. Now one of the unique features about our house tool is our roof lines. What I'm going to do is put this house into edit mode. And over here on the left-hand toolbar, you'll notice we have this black edit object tool, and I click it, and the bounding box has gone away, and my path that governs the object, now my control points are visible. And what this allows me to do is to either grab a line or an individual point and begin to edit the shape of the object. So let's undo and let's get back to square. And let's also put this house in the light here. So now I have my house. So also, by selecting the object and then double-clicking, I'm also in edit mode. And if I put my cursor right on my roof line, it gives me this edit toggle cursor, and I can toggle my roof type. So as you can see, very quickly, we've generated a very simple house, a very boring house, but in a very simple house. But this is Smart Tools, so it didn't require any 3D model. I'm going to show you another neat feature here. I'm going to draw an arbitrary patio. It's completely arbitrary. And I'm going to make the height of this 3 feet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my house and I'm going to copy it to the clipboard. And what I'm doing is not only am I copying the house, I'm copying the white shape, the path line, that governs the shape of this house. And I'm going to grab my patio and I'm going to paste, shape, and move. So it's going to apply the same exact dimensions of the house in the same exact location. And it's going to act as a foundation. And I'm going to take my house. I'm going to turn auto elevation off. I'll think of auto elevate as gravity. And I'm going to elevate my house 3 feet. And now I have a house with a foundation. So again, another example of Smart Tools, because it's really about designing something quickly so that we can get it to our clients and we can ultimately close the deal. We want to get the sales here. Now it's important to know that VisionScape is a design and visualization software. It has a plan view as well as a 3D view. But it's not engineering software. It will give us area, it'll give us square footage, but it's not going to tell us exactly how many boards to build. It's not going to ensure that we have a structure that is of sound mind, so to speak. In other words, it's not going to break. VisionScape software is not going to do that. So let me show you a couple of other features here. House windows, they stick to the house. Doors, they do the same thing. Lights also do the same thing. In fact, I don't really like this door, so let's switch it. And let's grab this door here. So now let's have some fun. Let's draw a deck. I'm going to grab my deck tool, and I'm going to draw the shape of a deck. Now again, just like my house tool, I have to be able to draw the footprint or shape of the deck. And as soon as I close the shape, it becomes a deck for me. Now, like my house tool, I can, if I put it in edit mode by double-clicking, I can control the shape of this object. I can add points. And completely change the shape that governs this deck and create any shape I like. I can draw a deck that's even a circle. I can take these two deck shapes and make them a single shape with our Boolean tools. So I know a lot of folks ask about curves. So let's show you some curves, some radius corners. So you notice we can essentially make any shape we desire, and we can do it very quickly. So with that said, let's go back a few steps here and go back to our original deck. And the first thing I'm going to want to do is put some stairs here. Let's come out and maybe we'll put our stairs right here. And all it requires me to do is grab my stair tool. And when I put my cursor on the deck, it's going to give me this little pink line. Now once I click, it'll actually draw the stairs for me. So again, very easy. Now something I notice here is the railings up against the house. We probably don't want those. So I'm going to select the object, double click, and it's now in edit mode just like our house was. And if you recall, we had a toggle tool for the roof. We have the same thing for deck railing. So I can toggle away the deck rails. Now here, I see we probably don't want that, so what I'm going to do is come in here, put it in edit mode again, insert a point, and wherever I have a point, it recognizes the line or a segment of the line. I can put my cursor there, and now I don't have that area. Fortunately, the others came back, so just get rid of those. So that's the basics of the tool. Let me show you a couple of other features about it. If I increase the deck height, we're going to bring it to the second level. Notice that the stairs automatically draw themselves. And it's telling me that I've got a width of 6 feet, a rise of 8 inches, treads of essentially a foot. And I can change this accordingly. We can get really silly here. Or we can have something that's pragmatic. Now I know something that's pretty popular with decking is a landing. So let's draw a landing. And essentially all I'm drawing is another deck. Now if I reduce the height of this deck and the stairs catch it, it'll recognize this as a place to stop the stairs. I can come in here again, add some more stairs. Now remember I told you early on, I'm not a deck designer. But the functionality is all there. Alright, so now let's take a look at some other features. Let's go back to our deck. I'm going to customize all the properties of this deck, starting with the deck floor. I can go into the catalog and I can choose a material. And let's just choose this English oak. And I can decide the board width is 6 inches. I can decide the angle is 45 degrees. Now the other thing that I might want to do is add edging boards to this. And what you'll notice is it comes around the entire deck and puts an edging. As well, I can come in and modify the posts, the balusters, the upper rail, the bottom rail. And in fact, let's go here to the catalog. We can download, let's make this glass. And it downloads the glass and applies it. We go to our posts. Spacing between the posts probably shouldn't be 9 feet. Let's make it 6 feet. And everything adjusts accordingly. So this is the basics of the tools. Let's look underneath the deck, because I know a lot of folks ask about this. So the first thing I'm going to do is hide the deck floor. And here I've got a structure. Again, as I said earlier, it's this is not an engineering tool. Us at VisionScape, we designed this technology with no deck building experience. And what's really exciting about our relationship with NADRA is we're learning a lot about this, and we're getting a lot of input from not only our existing users, but some of the NADRA guys to help us further develop this software so we can get you guys exactly what you need. So I've got beams of, we'll make the spacing 8 feet. I've got joist spacing. And we've got beam angle. Now one of the things that we may want to see is we may want to get rid of this beam and all the posts. So just like my roof and my railings, I can toggle them away. And there we have it. So these are some of the basics of our deck tool. Let's go back and let's show our boards. In fact, let's have some fun and let's take a look at how we made this deck here. Since we started our relationship with NADRA, we learned a lot about some of the techniques that a lot of you guys are using in putting in various inlays, how you angle various boards together. So we created, or we're in development, I should say, of a tool called an accent area and an accent strip. Now this hasn't been released yet, but we're very close to releasing this in the next version. And essentially what an accent area is, it allows me to create a shape and fill it with a material. Now I can take the same shape and I can put the boards at 45. I can copy and paste, in other words duplicate it, make another one, and put it here at minus 45. And what we figured out with a tool like this is we can create virtually anything. In fact, I was playing with something earlier, and I made a compass rose. So while that's downloading, nope, it's already downloaded. I'll show you the compass rose because it incorporates both our accent area and our accent strip, and our strip is essentially a line. Well, we've got a rise there. So essentially what this line does, I can edit it, of course, change the shape to it. Let's give this a radius corner. Let's give this one a beveled edge. And what this allows me to do is to put a width to it and essentially create any kind of banding scenario that I would like. So I might be able to take this deck, let's get it in the light again. I'm going to copy the shape. I'm going to tell this stripe to be a closed shape. I'm going to hit paste shape and move. And I notice it's on the outside of the line. I want on the inside. And now I have all kinds of crazy banding. Here's some other examples that I was playing with earlier. And this was something I saw online and I just thought it would be fun. So these are the basics of our deck tool, tools. Now, some questions that folks have asked me is how does it work with topography? Now we've come out of the landscape trade. We started VisionScape and we launched our first version in the spring of 2011. That was a beta. We've launched 7 versions since. We've got 4 versions scheduled for this year, so development is going quite quickly. And we're always looking for new ideas on how to best support you guys in the field, our users, so you guys can be as successful as possible in going out there and selling projects. So what we learned in the landscape industry was topography is big, and I think that translates to anything in home improvement. So let's start a new design. Let's build a quick house. And in this particular scenario, let's make the house 20 feet, or the wall height 20 feet. And let's make it so that the front of the house, the second floor, is level, and the back of the house comes down to grade. So we're going to grab one of our topography tools. This one is a slope tool. And I'm simply going to draw a line from left to right, or right to left. And that's the front of my slope. Now, it drew it the way I didn't want it to, so I'm going to flip the direction. And we know that we've got the second floor starts at 10 feet. So let's make our rise 10 feet. I'm going to lock that in. And then I'm going to just massage the angle here until I get exactly what I'm looking for. And that's about right. So now, if we were to draw a wraparound deck here, let's do it. Let's have fun here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show in the support frame, I'm going to add concrete footing so we can see what's going to happen here. And I'm going to elevate the deck height. And notice what the footings have done. They recognize what's going on in the environment, and they then respond accordingly. Again, there's this built-in intelligence. So that was fun. Another topography tool we have is a height grid. And this is a very versatile tool. Essentially, it's a closed-shaped geometry with a series of points. It allows me to massage each point or sculpt the terrain. And I can put as many as 100 points. Here we only have 9 in each piece. So we really have the flexibility to create what we want. I'm going to build a wall here. I want to demonstrate something else about our topography. So here's a wall. We'll add a wall cap to it, flat top. We'll increase the height just a little bit. Well, that's the width. Now, if I wanted this to be a retaining wall, over here in the Properties panel, I can hit Cut Terrace, and it makes it a retaining wall. Just like my slope, if that wasn't the desired side, I can hit Flip Direction. And there we have it. So again, another example of smart tools, rapid design, no need for 3D modeling or even learning about 3D modeling. But for those that are into 3D modeling, VisionScape is a SketchUp importer, so you can import any SketchUp models that from either the Google warehouse or objects that you create on your own. All right, so let's take a look. Let's download another design. And what I want to do is deconstruct this design so you can see exactly how it was built, how we built a house, how we created this design from start to finish in under 2 hours. And it was based on the principles that I've just demonstrated today. So when we look at this house, we see something that's reasonably complex. In other words, it looks like it took days or all day to make this. This house is simply a series of very simple houses that are stuck together to create the illusion of a house. Because let's face it, we're not in the construction, we don't build houses. We're building decks, we're building outdoor living. So using these very simple techniques, we were able to create this house very quickly. All right, so with that, I'm going to open the floor, and I'm going to see if anybody's got any questions. It's going to take a sec. Okay, I think I've got everyone. Anybody have any questions for me? Come on, guys, don't be shy.
Can you raise the window height to the specific height that you want?
You can. So let's take a window that we have here. And the height, the elevation is in relationship to the house. So here in my slider, I can say make it 5 feet high. And in relationship to the house, it'll elevate itself 5 feet. Hey guys, we're getting a lot of feedback. I'd suggest if you're not talking, don't have any questions, that you mute yourself, if that's possible. So something else I'll show you. And I guess I'm back to muting because we're getting too much feedback. Okay. I've got this deck here selected, and there's some very important details. If I'm a deck builder, I'm going to quote this job that I need. And what I'm learning here is that this particular deck is 546 square feet. It has a perimeter of 108, has a rail length of 35.5, and the railings along the steps are 16 feet 8 inches combined. So this is the information that most of our users use to come up and derive costs. So with that, I'm going to show you one of my favorite things about VisionScape. I've designed this for my client, and I want to share it with them. So what I'm going to do is create a screenshot. Now the screenshot is going to be saved on my computer, but it also gives me the option, do I want to upload it? And I'm going to say yes. I'm going to hit create screenshot. It's going to take a picture of what's here. It's not going to take a picture of this little camera on the left or the bounding box or anything selected. And it's going to take this picture and it's going to put it online for me. So let's go back to VisionScape. We'll look at this particular design. We'll view it. Come on, guys. I think it's still uploading. But here's the image that we just took. And now I have the freedom to share this with my client remotely. I could like it for Facebook, tweet it, pin it, do all that other fun stuff. And this is all being contained within my profile. So let's take a look at my profile real quickly. I'm clicking on my little logo here, and it brings me to my profile on VisionScape. And these are the designs that I've elected to put in my public profile or my portfolio, so I can allow customers that I'm trying to sell, show them the kind of experience they're going to get working with my company. And they can pick a design that they like. They can come and view the plans, screenshots, and even HD video. Now what's important to note, if you make a video with VisionScape and the software does this for you and it puts it online for you, you also have the ability to embed this video onto your website, newsletter. You can put it on a Facebook page, however you like, so that you can show people the kind of experience that they're going to get working with your company. And by the way, this is full 1080 HD video. All right. I'm trying to figure out a way to open the mics back up, but without the feedback, so I'm going to try this one more time. And I think I found a way. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. I've got a question here from Rick. Rick,
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can. How does it interact with SketchUp?
All right, well, let's take a look. Say, for instance, I have I'm designing a school. I can either, and I need a school bus. I can either go and model a school bus, or I can go to the 3D warehouse and see if we can find a school bus. Now, I'm assuming you're a SketchUp user?
Well, at least someone in my company is.
Okay. I think I need to spell school bus correctly. So here on SketchUp, we've got quite a few school buses. I'm going to click one. I'm going to download it. And once downloaded, this is on another screen. Once it's downloaded, I can simply drag this school bus into my design. And what it's going to do, it's going to start processing this, this model. Now we see a lot of high-end landscape architects, engineers actually that do a lot of SketchUp work, bringing their whole designs into VisionScape minus two things, minus the topography, because SketchUp is notoriously bad at topography, as well as removing any kind of foliage, and then bringing it into VisionScape, putting the new plants in, the new topography, taking videos of it, sharing it. And in other cases, we're seeing a lot of users use SketchUp for very custom grill work on maybe a fence gate. Some folks using it as for designing very complex or unique pergolas. So here's my school bus. First thing it's asking me to do is give it a category type, and I'm just going to call it a utility. I'm going to give it a name, and then I'm going to add it to my design. Now, why did I give it a name? Because what's happening is I can use this model over and over again. I'd never have to import it again. And there's my school bus.
That's great.
Well, I'll show you something even more fun. If I double-click my school bus, it puts it into edit mode, and I can tell by that little 3D cube. If I select a surface, in this case I've selected the yellow material, and I know this here, and it's using the SketchUp original material. I can then go in and grab a VisionScape material. And what's unique about VisionScape materials, say, versus SketchUp, we're going to make a green bus here, guys, is that they respond, and many of the materials are 3D themselves. So they'll respond to lighting, the sun, the moon, reflections, whereas a traditional SketchUp material is very flat. So here we'll take our windows and we'll make them glass. Opaque glass. Now you can see that the windows are actually reflecting some of the sky. Anybody else have any questions? I think I figured out if there's a method for raising your hand in the webinar, and I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody has. All right, well then if there's no questions, I'm going to talk about, oh, we got a question. Joel Harper, I see you're asking a question, but it shows that you don't have audio capabilities. Okay, well, Joel, while you try and figure it out, there you go.
On now?
Oh, there you go, Joel.
Okay, great. My question is, I like everything I see so far, but I'd like to see a screen or covered area, screen porch.
Okay, I don't have a screen porch for you, but I can show you. But I can show you what some people are using as a screen porch.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to this house that we designed earlier, and let's say, for instance, we want to put some kind of porch right off this deck. So I'm just going to increase the wall height. I'm going to build a new house. And I know that may seem counterintuitive.
So you got to get the roof, right?
Got to get the roof. You've got it. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking my house, I'm going to square it up here, 15, 6. And using the techniques that we used for the roof line, I'm going to do the same thing I did originally, but I'm going to turn this into a shed roof by doing this on 3 sides. And then I'm going to rotate it around 180 degrees. And then I'm going to place it. Well, it's too wide. Let's bring it in, do it again on this side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off auto elevate. Now every object has auto elevation. Think of it again as gravity, because what I want to do is raise it. I want to raise it, and I want to reduce the roof pitch. I'm going to elevate it a little higher. And if I like that, I'm going to start reducing my wall height. Now I can reduce it down to 0.
I gotcha.
Or I can keep a foot or 2. And so this is a method of creating, say, a covered porch. Now, depending on the level of detail you need, I know some folks might use our column tools. Pull down a post. This is a marble post. Turn it into white vinyl. Look at the height of our deck here, which is 3 inches and change. Turn the auto elevate here. Elevate it to 12 feet, 3 inches. And then I can start positioning these if I choose. Now, I can also increase the height of these. And so I know some folks use these as posts. Now, with that said, this might be a good segue into another interesting conversation. We've been talking to a lot of manufacturers who, fencing, decking, railing, and we're talking to them about developing new tools for you guys. And there's been a talk of a sunroom and a covered porch. And as a company and as a technology, we have the capability of creating all kinds of new tools. So instead of this, what I'll call a workaround, we can build a tool just like our deck tool that does covered porches, that does sunroofs, and so on and so forth. So I wouldn't be surprised, Joel, if you see some of these tools come out here within probably later in the year or potentially next year. Well, will this work in the meantime?
Oh yes, it looks a lot easier than the way I've been doing it. So yeah.
How have you been doing it, Joel?
Actually, using deck tools. It's very difficult with making roofs and things with deck tools.
Well, I'm glad I could show you this, and I'd welcome you to go download a version at VisionScape. You can try it out for free, and let us know what you think. We're always interested in feedback. That's our greatest asset, is our users. Okay, anybody else have a question?
Looks very interesting.
Thank you, I appreciate that. We've been working very hard on it.
I can tell.
All right. I don't see any. Oh, I got another one here. Rick, you have a question? Rick? Oh, I see what you. Okay. Got a question pane here. Okay, I've got a question. How about pergolas and patio covers? So let's take a look at what we've got here. We've got a category under landscape called structures. And one of the subcategories is pergolas. So here I've got a couple of pergolas, but I'm going to go online and see if got any more? And sure enough, we do. So these are modeled objects. I'm just going to pull one down here. So I'm downloading it from the web. And here's our pergola. Now, I cannot change the shape of this in any way because this is fixed geometry. A professional modeler went in and modeled this for us. The only thing that we can do here is change materials. Now, there's also been talk about creating a smart pergola tool. So, again, that's another object that I wouldn't be overly surprised to see here hit our development schedule here in the not-too-distant future. So we've got a wider range of these pergolas. So feel free to go through and play with it. Again, you can change, in this particular case, you can change beam colors, posts, rafters. And then you've got a really ugly pergola. Okay, somebody's asking if we can touch upon hardscapes. So let's draw patio. We're going to go to our building tab here and grab our patio tool. It's a very versatile tool. And essentially, it allows me, just like my house, like my deck, I can draw a shape, any shape that I like. Let's do a radius here. And there's our patio. So now in this particular case, we can put on a coping. Give that coping a depth. We can go to the catalog, and we can use decking material if we choose, pavers. So let's pick out some pavers here. So what I want to do is get the width of the coping to the material. And that looks good. Now the other thing I can do is increase the height. Choose my facing material or my wall material. And I can use stone, pavers, Weston stone. And there's a very simple patio. Now like we saw with the decks, we can make an infinite number of shapes. We have this really great tool called the inset-outset tool. So I'm going to clone this object, go outside 1 foot, and I'm going to reduce the height 1 foot. And you'll notice here it becomes very easy to create things like stairs using the same technique. Now, a lot of people use planters or plant beds in their patios. So again, very simple. And now we'll turn this, instead of wood, we can come in here and turn it into mulch. Now we've got a plant bed. We can come in here, go to our landscape tab. We can grab some plants. And we can populate our bed. Where'd our plant go here? There we go. All right, I've got a question from Tom. Yes. Tom asked me if we can also gather the square footage of patios and walls, and the answer to that question, Tom, is yes. Just like our deck tool, we have an area of 5,100 square feet and a perimeter of 92. When we do a wall, it essentially does the same thing. I will caution you with the wall, it's only giving you one side. So you've got 200.89 square feet. If If this was a double-sided wall, you would want to double that. Now I'll show you something really fun, Tom. I'm going to copy this shape of my patio, and I'm going to paste it to my patio. Increase the height, give it a cap, delete a few points that I don't think we need, and now I have a seat wall. And there it is. Tom says, that's cool, thank you. All right, let's see, Sean. Sean, you have a question?
Yeah, when you do the square footage on the pavers, because you duplicate it, is it giving you the square footage of the whole lower patio?
No.
Also?
No, what it's doing, each object is its own object. So what it won't do, say for instance, you wanted the total surface square footage here, and because you don't, right now you've got two patios here, one on top of another.
Yeah.
So there's two methods here that you can use. You can either do the subtraction yourself of the top patio, which is 510 and 645, or you can just say, well, the whole area is probably 645. But you're going to have, you see what's happening there?
But you have to select each one separately, otherwise you'll get a double number.
Yes, otherwise you run, because if you select both of them, it's not going to give you an answer.
Yeah.
Now, what some folks do, and there's another technique here. Now, this is going to be a little sloppy, but I can take say I just wanted the square footage of the bottom. I could grab the bottom, then select the top, use my Boolean tools, and I can cut the bottom, and it'll give me the square footage of that one as well.
Then you just add those two.
And then you can add these two. Now, I think what you'd find out is the other method worked as well, because it would give us the same, only because the bottom area was of the same origins of the top.
Is this webinar something you'll be able to check out later?
Yeah, we're gonna record this, and I know with for NADRA members, we've got some training coming up, some certifications. We've actually got a lot of very exciting things coming up here for NADRA members. So there'll be more about that moving forward.
Okay, one more question. Sure. When you did that covered porch area, can you change the pitch? I missed the very beginning part. Can you change the pitches up? Can you put like a added pitch in the center of that roof? Sure.
There's a lot I can do here. So first thing, say I want to alter the roof. First I'm going to insert some points.
Okay.
Now, what I'm going to do not want to do that. Let's move it over. What I'm trying to do is add these extra points here, center this one, and you know what? I think I take that back. I think the way to do that properly would be this way. Now I'm guessing here, I've never done this before. But is this kind of what you're looking for?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that's really sloppy. But I think we could work that out.
Can you integrate like where the deck posts are? Could you make the deck posts tall enough to go into there so they match the posts on the roof? Can you change the height of the posts on the rail?
Not on the deck rail, no. What I'd have to then go in and do is fake it by simply turn off snap to grid. I'd really at that point have to fake it. You see what I did there?
Yeah. Can you remove the cap?
I can remove the cap. So we'll come back to our deck here. Go to our posts, cap, add a cap, and now the cap is gone. Now we can also change the dimension here to match the size. Not a very intelligent tool per se, but certainly a workaround that's effective.
No, it shows what it is. If you left it skinny, you can show the raised panel also. You know what I mean? You tell me it would be, the panel itself would be bigger.
Right.
Well, that's cool.
All right. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Actually, can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does it take the square footage of the stairs? Can you separate that?
No. At this point, it does not take the square footage of the stairs. The only thing that it's going to do is give you the railing count. So let's go pick another style here. Downloading.
So it gives you no square footage on the treads or risers.
No. The deck itself, it's giving me the area, the perimeter, but it's only giving me the railing. Now this is the first I've ever heard of square footage for the decks, for the stairs. Maybe that's a feature we need. Is that how you typically use, or you price out?
Well, it does two things. It'll give you, I mean, it's not that hard to calculate in a program like this. And if you figure it out, it gives you, like that's the one area where not, guys who do it every day, but a lot of guys who will pick this up,
right?
They're not, to calculate stairs, a lot of guys can't even do their own stairs. So, one reason is they don't know how to bid it, but to have the square footage with the deck, that tells you how much square footage of material. Basically, you're able to figure out a quick cost, of what it is exactly, without having to figure each rise out and whatever. If you're getting the square footage of the deck, it does do the square footage of the deck accurately, right?
Yes.
And it gives lineal footage for railing?
Yes.
And then the perimeter of the deck is a separate number?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
That's the thing. If you have the rise and run, whether it's open stringer or closed stringer, that tells you a lot. That gives you all the information on what you have to order for composite or wood or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you, I'd welcome you to go try it and submit on VisionScape.com. We have a support tab on just about every page. I welcome your feedback.
The problem is I'm horrible. I launched something the other day that was like I screwed something up, and instead of deleting it, I launched it. I got it back, but...
Well, to that very point, if you're having trouble, we also recommend you use this form. Either if you're having any kind of issues, you don't know how to do something, you couldn't find help on our video tutorials. Our job is to help you guys get out there as quickly as possible selling. We don't want you fumbling around with software. It's about design and sales. It's not about software. So if you're getting stuck, fill out one of these forms.
That was my first 5 minutes.
All right. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. I think what I'm going to do, guys, it's 8:26. I've got one more question here, and then I think we're going to wrap this up. Now, I will be recording this, so if you know somebody who's missed it, I know the folks at NADRA are going to be putting this up. And I welcome everybody to download the software, try it out. It does not have all the features that you've seen here today. It's a free version, but it'll certainly get you started and give you a real method for evaluating what I've shown you here today by your own experiences. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming, and I'm sure we'll apprise you of all the really exciting things that are happening with VisionScape and NADRA here. Thanks so much, and have a good night.